Hey, what's up everyone? PersNikity here, moving on to Chapter 21, the Atlantis of the Sands in the Uncharted 3 Brutal Difficulty walkthrough. We're almost done. This is the second to last chapter of the game, and in my opinion, it's one of the hardest chapters of the game, and it's actually going to be harder than the final chapter, in my opinion. So I'm going to do my best to walk you through it, but before any of that can begin, go ahead and enjoy a pretty cool cutscene.
Incredible. This is how the city could thrive all the way out here. The whole place must be fed by an underground spring. It's clean. It's amazing it's still running after all these years. Now that's a hell of a thing. What? No. No. Please. Sully.
Alright, so immediately after the cutscene, you're going to be thrown right into the action, and there's going to be a number of enemies in this area right here, and this is where we first fight the supernatural being, which is the Jinn. So you see here, after I killed the enemy, his head basically burst into flames as he transformed into the Jinn, and then I had to kill him again. Same thing with this enemy here. So that's the annoying part of this, is you're basically going to have to kill each enemy twice, and the other problem is once you turn the enemy into the Jinn, it has the ability to teleport, and it will always teleport behind you. So if you see it teleport, you're going to want to rotate your camera around to get it killed. Now after you kill those three guys, this elevator here is going to come up, and 3 more Jinn are going to pop out, and chances are they're going to kill you, especially because if you're like me, you ran out of Tau sniper rifle at this point. I think I almost did it. I think I was able to kill 2 of these guys, but then the third one was able to sneak up behind me, which was unfortunate. I was almost able to do this in one smooth sequence, but anyway, you'll get a checkpoint right when the elevator comes up. So right when the elevator comes up, go ahead and throw a grenade in there. Run over here to pick up a Tau sniper, and then these 2 will pretty much always teleport right next to you. And that makes things really nice, because then with the Tau sniper that you can pick up right there, you can just kill those 2 immediately. Now the Tau sniper was kind of hard to see, but it's kind of just tucked back by one of those pillars in the shadows, so you got to look for it. And you're going to see that I just walked over a grenade launcher. That is an incredibly effective weapon against the Jinn, but I wanted to save it, so I purposefully did not pick it up. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run around trying to kill this third guy. And the benefit of getting that checkpoint is that you can basically kill the first 2 right off the bat, and so then there's only 1 to worry about. Of course, the problem with these guys is even 1 serves as its own threat entirely, so you still got to be careful, and that's why you see I'm just kind of being patient here. I wasn't able to see where it was, so I just wanted to be careful. Go from cover to cover until finally, you see right there, it made itself visible. So I'm going to shoot it once with the Tau. It teleports behind me. I'm going to shoot it again. Now it's a Jinn, and so I'm just going to finish shooting it. And yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot of strategy to killing these guys. It's just, you know, they'll teleport. So if they teleport, look behind you. Sometimes they can throw fireballs at you, so be ready for that. Now you're going to see the video speed up here. That's just because before moving on, I wanted to run around this area looking for ammo. most importantly, I'm going to pick up that grenade launcher I mentioned earlier, and I'm also going to pick up a handful of grenades, which will definitely come in handy. And I'm also going to look for ammo for my Tau sniper, but I don't think I was able to find any. But so right there, I picked up the grenade launcher. Please, please, please make your life easier and pick that up. And then, of course, feel free to look around for grenades. I think I have 3 in my inventory. And once you're ready to move on, just head to the elevator, and that's basically all we're going to do in this chapter, is just keep fighting different waves of the Jinn. Again, the 2 best weapons to use are the Tau and the grenade launcher. But, you know, it's still just a difficult chapter, and particularly the part at the end, in my opinion, is the hardest part of the game. It is just frustrating. It's near impossible. It really is just brutal. I mean, the difficulty name describes it all. But yeah, so I found that, you know, typically for brutal, we play things a bit more patiently, and we take a less aggressive approach. But I find that when you're fighting the Jinn, it actually pays to be aggressive, because especially if you have those higher powered weapons like the Tau, because the thing is, let's say you have 3 Jinn that you have to fight. Obviously, if you have 3 of them, they're going to be teleporting all over the place. They're going to have a much easier time flanking you and sneaking up behind you. So the quicker you can eliminate them, the smaller the chances of you dying become. Obviously, I know this sounds obvious, but I really mean it. So usually it pays to be aggressive. So what you want to do is, like, right off the start of things, you just want to use your Tau and kill 1 or 2 of them as fast as you can, and that way you only have 1 to focus on. And like I said, having 1 to focus on is still a challenge in its own right, but it's definitely easier than having to worry about 3. So you can see where if you're aggressive at the beginning, it's a lot easier than if you were to just take cover right away, because then if you take cover, they're just going to keep flanking you, and it's going to be near impossible.
What? No.
No. Stay away, please. Oh, God. Oh, no. What is this?
Alright, so that was a cool little sequence that kind of tied it back to the very early chapters of the game when, you know, Drake, once again, he's hallucinating off of the same drug that they used on us earlier, and he kind of visioned back to his time in Cartagena when he met Sully, and they threw a little twist on it, having us shoot Sully instead of shooting the one of Marlowe's random bodyguards. But anyway, after that sequence, you're going to make your way towards the back of the room here. Now, hopefully you grabbed the grenade launcher from the previous fight, like I mentioned. And then the good news is, even though we couldn't find any Tau ammo before, there is going to be one right here with 6 shots in it. So that's you're definitely going to want to pick that up. That's the best weapon in the game, especially against the Jinn. So anyway, as soon as you approach the end here, there's going to be 3 more enemies that emerge, and you can see that they're all going to be Jinn, so really it's kind of like 6 enemies. So what you're going to want to do is take cover here, and right away you're going to want to fire your grenade launcher, and you're going to want to fire it twice, and you can actually kill one of them immediately, and you can do some damage to the other ones. Now, one of them's most likely going to teleport behind you, but you can see that I was able to take him out. So I was able to take out one of those guys. Usually he will teleport behind you. If he doesn't teleport behind you, then just shoot him. If he does teleport behind you, just rotate your camera and take him out. And then at this point, there's only one more guy you have to worry about. And of course, you still are going to have to kill him twice. So I shot him once there, and then boom, finished the job. Those 3 really aren't too difficult. The only problem comes from if they happen to spawn behind you. And then, of course, you just got to hopefully rotate your camera fast enough to take them out. Now, before moving on to the next section, go ahead and stock up. There was another grenade launcher you could pick up. Try to save as much of the Tau ammo as you can. But as you see, I'm actually going the wrong way, and that's just because I was, once again, just trying to see if I could somehow luckily find any more Tau ammo. Unfortunately, I couldn't. But now we're going to be approaching what I consider the hardest fight in the game. So you're going to go through this gate here, and there's going to be two Jinn you have to kill. And these guys are simple. This is really easy. You're just going to turn the corner. They basically will stand right next to each other, so just shoot your grenade launcher in their midst, and then boom, take them out with the Tau, and you'll see those gates open. Now, once you go through those gates, that's the hardest fight in the game. So again, you can find 6 shots of Tau rifle, and then keep your grenade launcher. Don't use the RPG. Definitely keep the grenade launcher. And And now here it comes. This is going to be the hardest fight in the game. It's going to be tough, but you're just going to have to get through it, and you're going to want to be aggressive. So what you're going to do is take cover behind this fountain here, and all of these Jinn are going to spawn. And I'm going to start chucking grenades, and you're going to see that they end up killing me. I highly doubt you're going to be able to do this on your first try. This section alone took me about half an hour. So what you're going to do is right off the respawn, take cover, throw one grenade over at this enemy here, let him explode, he turns into a Jinn, and then just finish him off with the grenade launcher. Now, do the same thing over here, shoot that one, and then shoot this one. Alright, and you're basically going to want to stay by this fountain and just keep rotating around it. Again, that's really hard because the enemies will keep teleporting behind you, but it's easily the best approach. And so now you see, I'm just going to throw grenades at them when I get the chance. One thing I'm going to do, like right here, they're all kind of grouped together, so I'm going to start shooting them with grenade launcher ammo, and you see I was able to kill 2 of them just like that. And now at this point, I think there's only 1 left, and so now you just got to finish him off just like usual. Use your grenade launcher, use your grenades. Honestly, just use whatever you can, and then try to finish them off with a Tau. So for general strategy, I would say the best thing to do is shoot your grenade launcher to start with, because they'll typically be grouped together. So shoot your grenade launcher at the beginning, and that will turn them all into Jinn, and they will start their second life. And then you can use grenades, and you can use your Tau to finish them off. And again, you saw how I basically stayed by the fountain the entire time, and I just kept rotating around it. You know, like I said, it's hard. It's, in my opinion, the hardest fight of the game. And, you know, from your view, it's going to look easy because obviously you saw me do it basically first try or second try. But in reality, it took me about 20 tries. It's really hard. But I would say the best approach is right at the beginning, shoot them with your grenade launcher, and then use your Tau to finish the job. Because remember, you are going to have to basically kill them twice because of their Jinn superpower. So again, it's hard, but it's one of those things you got to get through. And the good news is, once you get through it, you know, it's going to take some persistence. You're going to have to commit to it, and you're going to probably spend a good 15 to 30 minutes on it. But just be persistent, and the good news is, once you get through it, you're basically done with the game. Now, Chapter 22 is still going to be challenging, but in my opinion, that fight is the hardest part of this entire game. And so once you get through it, you know, the rest of the game you should be able to get through without worry. Again, it's going to be tough, but the toughest part is behind you, so you can at least kind of rejoice in that fact and know that you are one step closer to beating this game on brutal difficulty. And in fact, that's the last fight of Chapter 21 as well. So now we just have to do this little thing here, and we can move on to Chapter 22, which is the final chapter of the game. Now, the one weird thing is, the one thing this game does differently is, in Uncharted 1, the last chapter is literally just the boss fight, and it takes about 10 minutes. In Uncharted 2, the last chapter is also just the final boss fight, and that also takes about 10 to 15 minutes. In this chapter, the last chapter, or in this game, the last chapter is not just the final boss fight, it's actually quite a bit of firefights as well. So the last chapter is actually going to be like 30 minutes long. So it's something you're going to have to kind of pace yourself for. But yeah, we'll get to that when we get to it. So go ahead and make your way towards this fountain here. Take a right, and then you're just going to go down this spiral staircase. And that will pretty much bring you to the end of Chapter 21. So thanks for watching, everyone. Like and subscribe if you get the chance. I hope this walkthrough was able to help you. Again, this is probably the hardest chapter of the game. But we're almost done, so just stick it through, and you're almost there.